Welcome to Karajas, a native Brazilian word meaning a place of belonging to a home on the water for our people. And that's exactly what this Nordhavan 68 represents. A home away from home, a place to feel comfortable and safe, even in the most isolated environments in the world. I'm Blaine Ashley from Nordhavan, Australasia, and today I'm pleased to welcome you from the sunshine of the Gold Coast on the east coast of Australia. We are on board Carajus, a one-owner, Australian-delivered Nordhavan that was conceived, specified and built to genuinely be used at sea. Carajus is hull number 25 of the 68 range. She is CE marked in Category A and configured for 230 volt and 50 Hz operation, while retaining the ability to accept 60 Hz if required. So to all you American Nordhavan enthusiasts, don't be deterred. At her build, Steve D'Antonio was commissioned by PAE to assist. Steve is renowned in the Nordhavan world as the go-to for construction and engineering oversight. Every element of this vessel has been thought out and designed for efficiency, redundancy and safety. The Nordhavan 68 is one of my personal favourite models in the range. It's an evolution of the extremely popular Nordhavan 64. She represents a very particular type of Nordhavan, large enough to be genuinely ocean capable and comfortable on long passages, yet still very owner-operator friendly. A size in which an owner-operator team can feel comfortable with not only handling the vessel on long open water passages, yet equally comfortable in close quarter manoeuvring, whilst offering plenty of amenities and spaces on board for extended voyages in remote locations for owners and guests. From the outset, Carajus was designed as a quiet, reliable, and highly autonomous passagemaker, not just a showboat. Every major decision on board reflects an experienced owner's brief with a strong emphasis on longevity, noise reduction, redundancy, and the ability to operate independently in remote parts of the world. Where Carajus separates herself from the standard Nordhavan 68 is in how the platform was specified, commissioned, and refined from the very beginning. An approach to build a yacht that could operate quietly and efficiently, independently for long periods of time in places where support and infrastructure simply doesn't exist. One of the things Nordhavan consistently gets right is the exterior design that prioritizes safety and functionality with robust and explorer-style lines. Carajus is an Aft Pilothouse 68 with a full walk-around design. The Aft Pilothouse provides a more comfortable ride for those long passages in tricky conditions, being set further back from the center fulcrum point while pitching, while also offering ample space for tenders and toys up forward. The walk-around side decks are wide, well protected, and finished in teak, offering excellent footing in both anchoring and underway. Handholds are exactly where you would expect them to be, and transitions between levels feels secure and intuitive, making operations faster and safer in all conditions. You'll also notice the option for storm plates to be fitted to the saloon windows, a detail you rarely see unless a yacht was specified to genuinely go offshore. Aft, the cockpit is deep and practical, with clear sight lines, an aft control station, and easy access to systems and storage through the floor lazarette hatches. A large custom-made fiberglass table in the center at the back, an oversized barbecue on the cockpit forward bulkhead with a sink and upgraded full glass saloon door creates one of the many very usable outdoor spaces for entertaining. Moving forward of the pilot house, the Portuguese bridge provides a protected working area, shielding operators from wind and spray, whilst also creating a solid sense of enclosure when moving around the deck. Both port and starboard wing stations are conveniently placed to allow for convenient docking solutions with seamless control selection and a clear path to move between stations. You'll also see a 150 litre unleaded bowser that supports the tenders and toys up forward. Moving aft, you have one of the most utilised private exterior outdoor areas, a large fixed couch facing to the stern, supported by a large adjustable teak table with the option to convert to either full height dining for 6 or a lowered coffee table or footrest for an option. Moving up another level, you reach the flybridge, conveniently covered with a hardtop, another full set of controls, ample seating, barbecue, and a fridge makes this an ideal vantage point for navigating shallow channels and entrances to bays, whilst doubling as a useful, entertaining deck while at anchor. Anyone familiar with Nordhavan interiors will immediately recognise the general layout of the 68, but Carajus departs from the standard specification in some very deliberate and meaningful ways. The interior was inspired by the owners and designed by Seattle-based Scott Cole and Ardrio Design. The difference isn't cosmetic, it's truly architectural. The use of satin-stained mahogany, stone, tile design, coupled with stainless and essence of pearl accents, has been carefully balanced to create a space that feels calm, modern, and timeless, without introducing reflective surfaces that becomes tiring during long periods on board. Flooring throughout the saloon interior is carpeted, not only for softness underfoot, but for noise alteration. Working in conjunction with the sound down insulation, decoupled soles, and upgraded air conditioning ducting to significantly reduce transmitted noise and vibration. Lighting is entirely LED, with multiple dimmer zones, allowing the interior to transition seamlessly between daylight cruising, night passages, and relaxed evenings at anchor. This is an interior designed to be lived in for months at a time. Quiet, understated, and deliberately free from unnecessary visual clutter, while still offering a high level of refinement is rarely seen on the Nordhavan 68s. For anyone who has spent real time offshore, the Galley quickly becomes an important space on board. On Carajus, it has been specified with that reality firmly in mind. Redundancy is a reoccurring theme. Rather than relying on a single large refrigerator unit, Carajus is fitted with multiple independent Miele fridge freezer systems, including 2 full-height combination fridge freezers, along with a Fisher & Paykel cooler drawer that can be configured as a fridge, freezer, drink straw, or pantry. This approach isn't only about luxury, it's about resilience. If one unit is down, the others carry on, which is exactly what you need when you're weeks from shore support. The choice of stone countertops, tiled flooring, and heavy-duty pantry hardware reflects the same thinking. Durability, ease of cleaning, stability underway. Storage is deep, accessible, and logically arranged, allowing provisions to be stored properly for extended cruising without cluttering living spaces. In short, this galley is designed not just to look good alongside the saloon, but to function reliably day after day, passage after passage, which is where Carajus really distinguishes herself. The accommodation on Carajus is yet another unique quality. It's the execution, flow, and detail that really sets her apart. The forward master stateroom is positioned just a few shallow steps to the port side of the galley, at full beam with a centerline forward-facing king-size island bed. The option large picture side portholes open to allow cross ventilation, and overhead hatches provide ample natural light. Large hanging cupboards to starboard and an abundance of drawer storage. And to port, you have your ensuite, a well-appointed vanity, large shower and head. Noise isolation, ventilation and lighting have all been treated as priorities rather than afterthoughts, and carefully selected materials helps reduce transmitted sound and creates a genuinely calm sleeping environment, even when the yacht's underway. Guest accommodation follows the same logic. The VIP and guest cabin are set out for comfort. They are well proportioned and practical, with excellent storage and sensible layouts that work both at anchor and at sea. To starboard, the VIP, supporting a large queen-size island bed and its own ensuite. To port, you enter the twin cabin with 2 large king single bunks with a large floor area and hanging space, supported by the day head or day ensuite forward of the hallway. For anyone familiar with Nordhavens and explorer yachts, the pilot house is where she proves herself. On Karajas, this space has been specified very deliberately for long watches, night running, and fatigue management. First thing you notice is the blacked out interior scheme, paired with the dimmable red LED lighting. This isn't cosmetic. It is essential for preserving night vision during extended passages, particularly when running short-handed. The dash has been lowered and upholstered, reducing glare and reflections while improving vision forward. The crown helm seats have been carefully selected and upgraded, positioned to allow the watchkeeper to remain comfortable and alert in long passages without constantly shifting positions. A proper watch berth is integrated directly into the pilot house, allowing off-watch crew to rest within arm's reach of the watchkeeper. Beneath this berth is a sustainable, accessible storage space for spare spares and critical equipment. Another small but very telling detail is the placement of the dayhead directly aft of the pilot house. Anyone who has run night passages will appreciate how practical that is. No ladders, no disturbance of accommodation, no loss of situational awareness. This is a pilot house designed by people who understand what actually happens at sea, not just how a helm should look at anchor. Propulsion is centered around a John Deere 6135 13.5 litre 424 horsepower main engine, keel-cooled with a dry exhaust, mounted on an isolation system designed to reduce vibration and transmitted noise. With an average fuel burn of 3 to 3.5 litres per nautical mile at cruise, this setup is well proven, efficient and serviceable in remote regions. Exactly what's needed on a true Passagemaker. Supporting the main is a fully independent John Deere 100 horsepower wing engine, complete with its own drive system, propeller and dedicated day tank. This is not just a get you home afterthought. It's a properly integrated second propulsion system that allows you to continue progress, charging, and maneuverability should the main engine ever be offline. Power generation follows the same logic. Rather than a single oversized generator, Carajus is fitted with two Onan generators. One is 27.5 kilowatts and the other is 11 kilowatts, allowing the boat to run efficiently under varying load conditions. Electrical autonomy is taken a step further with the triple Victron Quattro inverter system. 1530 amp hours of house batteries, giving the ability to operate silently for extended periods of time, maintaining full house loads. Also added is an isolation transformer, provided to protect the vessel from stray current and poorly maintained marinas or adjacent boats. Fuel management is equally well considered. With Volvo fuel decontamination on the main engine, wing engine and both generators, along with an upgraded polishing and transfer system and a dedicated day tank. What's important here is not any single piece of equipment, but the way the entire system works together. Autonomy is where Carajus quietly excels, and it's one of the reasons she has proven so capable throughout the South Pacific. Fuel capacity sits just under 12,000 litres, supported by an upgraded day tank and a comprehensive fuel transfer and polishing system. This allows the boat to operate confidently over long distances, around 3 to 3,500 nautical miles depending on conditions, while maintaining clean fuel supply to all engines and generators. Freshwater capacity is over 2,500 litres, but more importantly, Carajus is fitted with two STW 600 watermakers, with a custom sand pre-filter before moving through the micron filters and ultraviolet light, each capable of producing 600 gallons of fresh water per day. That level of redundancy means fresh water is never going to be a limiting factor. Electrical autonomy is further enhanced by 1200 watts of Solara marine grade fully encapsulated walkable solar panels, contributing to battery charging and reducing generator runtime. For those who know the Nordhavan 68 well, it becomes clear fairly quickly that Carajus is not the standard example of the model. She was built with direct involvement from Steve D'Antonio, providing independent oversight during construction and commissioning, particularly around systems layout, engineering design, and long-term serviceability. That level of input is rare, and it shows throughout the boat. More importantly, Carajus has not just lived a theoretical life. She has been extensively cruised throughout the South Pacific, including some of the most remote cruising grounds in the region, operated solely by her owner, operator, and partner. That history matters. It validates the decisions made during her build, from electrical architecture and fuel management to noise control to interior finishes, because they have all been tested, refined, and proven in real conditions. What you see on board today isn't just a result of a yacht being lightly used and carefully preserved for resale. It's a result of an owner who set out to build a serious Passagemaker, used her as intended, and maintained her properly throughout. Carajus will appeal to a very particular buyer, someone who understands Nordhavans, values proper engineering, and recognizes the difference between a standard specification and a yacht that has been thoughtfully commissioned from day one. Carajus comes with a considerable spare parts inventory, allowing peace of mind when cruising far from home. For an Australian buyer, she represents a rare opportunity to step straight into a CE Mark 50Hz Nordhavan 68 that has already been delivered, cruised, refined and proven locally. For an international buyer, Carajus is equally compelling. She is properly set up to leave tomorrow with global electrical capability, deep redundancy and cruising history that demonstrates real-world capability rather than theoretical range. This yacht is for an owner-operator who intends to use her, go places, and wants to put some serious miles under the keel. Someone who wants to rely on their vessel rather than worry about it. If you are looking for a Nordhavan 68 with proven, genuine offshore ability, Carajus deserves a serious consideration. We welcome inspections and are happy to provide full specifications, build documentation, and cruising history, even a 3D virtual tour. I look forward to welcoming you on board Carajus in person.